In this video, we'll demo how to use FireEye MSM's threat detection capabilities together with Airwatch MDM for policy enforcement. So let's first show an example attack. Here's an iOS device that's part of an Airwatch deployment that's not yet integrated with FireEye MSM. And this device just became the victim of the mask attack. And you can see our other video that describes this attack. The user opened a suspicious email which launched the attack and replaced their Gmail app with a malicious version that uploads all the user's emails to the attacker's server. So as you can see here, this Gmail app is not genuine, and the user wasn't notified about this attack. And from the Airwatch portal, there's also no sign of the attack. This device is listed as in compliance. And that's because while Airwatch is an excellent MDM solution, it's not designed to detect advanced threats such as the mask attack. To defend against this threat, we need to supplement Airwatch with FireEye's threat detection capabilities. So first we'll review the initial setup. Here's the FireEye MSM settings page. Configuring MSM to work with Airwatch is as simple as selecting Airwatch from the MDM provider list and filling in a few fields. Notice the high-risk app group field. We'll explain in a minute how this is used. We can choose any value we want. Here we'll use FireEye high risk. Now let's go to the Airwatch portal. So Airwatch has a concept of app groups, which are basically just lists of apps. And because we want our Airwatch policies to be based on apps, we need to create an app group that we can reference from our policies. So from the Airwatch site, the admin will create a single app group of type blacklist. As we'll see, this will let us use a condition called blacklisted apps when we define our Airwatch enforcement policies. So we need to make sure to use the same name here for this group as we used in the MSM configuration. This will allow FireEye MSM to automatically manage this app group. In other words, adding high-risk apps to it as soon as they're detected. So that's it. The setup is done, and our Airwatch deployment is now FireEye enabled. This means we can use FireEye MSM to detect high-risk apps and define behavior-based security policies, and this information will be automatically kept in sync with Airwatch, so we can track compliance and define enforcement actions through the Airwatch portal. So let's go ahead and define an enforcement policy. For compliance policies, Airwatch supports a number of different types of trigger conditions, but right now we're only interested in policies that trigger when the device contains high-risk apps. So we'll select as the condition application list contains and blacklisted apps. Blacklisted here in Airwatch term means any app that belongs to an app group with type blacklist. And that's why we defined our FireEye app group earlier with this type. So the next step is defining an enforcement action. Airwatch is very flexible and supports a number of different types of actions, including blocking apps, performing arbitrary commands like remote wipe. For this demo, we'll select notify to send a notification email to the user that falls out of compliance. So now that we have FireEye MSM, let's see what happens when we launch the mask attack on the iOS device. FireEye MSM detects the attack and pops up a warning message. FireEye also notifies Airwatch that this malicious Gmail app is blacklisted. So Airwatch marks the device as out of compliance, and based on the enforcement policy we just defined, sends an email to the user. And that's it. So these features work seamlessly across both Android and iOS. You can see in just a few steps we set up a powerful enterprise security management system for mobile using FireEye's mobile threat intelligence to detect security risks and Airwatch for enforcement and remediation.